Hey there! Welcome to the Influential Christian Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Francine Sinclair. I've been around the block in the entrepreneurial world, creating and repurposing social media content for experts and CEOs. I know firsthand how it can feel lonely, especially when you're mixing your Christian faith into your business life. So I figured, why should we go it alone? Who said that faith and business can't mix? And that's where this podcast comes in. Join me as we meet influential Christian entrepreneurs who are showing us how to blend business and faith in a way that works. We're here to prove that you can express your faith without compromising your business success. On the Influential Christian Entrepreneur, you're not just listening, you're part of the gang. So let's start this journey together. Welcome to the Influential Christian Entrepreneur Podcast, where we uncover the inspiring stories and strategies of successful Christian entrepreneurs. In today's episode, we have the pleasure of interviewing Dr. Michael Majette, who is a seasoned chiropractic physician and ergonomic specialist with 2 decades of hands-on experience. As the visionary founder of Majette Luxopedics Corp., he melds innovative comfort technology with deep insights into the human condition. Witnessing the dual-edged sword of technology, both connecting and distancing us, Dr. Majette strives not just to craft products, but to establish a new benchmark of comfort. With a team driven by inspiration and elevation, they are committed to revolutionizing the very essence of well-being in a tech-driven world. Welcome to the forefront of comfort and innovation. Hi, Dr. Majette. How are you? Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. It's a great opportunity. I'm honored to be here. Thank you very much.
So I was, in this bio, there's just so much juiciness to extract out of here because this is most definitely a different point of view. And I just posted something about what it takes to be a thought leader. Everybody wants to be a thought leader, but true thought leaders really have a different point of view. And based on what I'm reading here, it looks like you may be a thought leader in the making, even if you don't know it. So I want to know, first of all, Dr. Majette, since this is the Influential Christian Entrepreneur, and this is a Christ-centered podcast, I would like to know first, how did you become a Christian?
Great question. I had an incredible mother who instilled Christianity into my heart and soul. I remember getting baptized at age 7, and just the way that it should be, parents embedding the Christian morals and standards of the Lord in our hearts and minds at a young age. It's made life completely different, completely better, and it's what we're doing for our son, for example.
Because you're homeschooling your son, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. It's glorious. My wife is the greatest homeschool mother, teacher, doctor, all of it. And it's been, a challenge on one hand because he has a bit of a learning disability with being dyslexic, kind of like myself. Mm-hmm. And, I grew up with parents doing school. They didn't really recognize it. Mm-hmm. Now I'm having better tools to recognize these things. We are able to, instill those same Christian values in him, and at the same time work with his disabilities to turn them into, in my opinion, gifts that are just priceless.
Right. Uncover his gifts, because many times those learning disabilities are just hidden gifts that we need to uncover, right? And so, absolutely,
a lot differently, just like I do. And what I love about it is it's almost like you get to see trends before they happen, and you just look at things a little bit differently than the average. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think it's a great thing.
It is a great thing because in our pre-podcast conversation, we were talking about, your unique approach. First of all, I want to know about this brand and this product that you have created? Because there's so much to get out of here. So first of all, I want to know, when did you start? First of all, what is the product that we're talking about? Let me start there.
Sure. In a nutshell, imagine being in my shoes, 20 years treating patients. You start to see patterns. Really, you see patterns of different types of patients coming in, and over those 20 years, for example, when I first started practicing in '02, the average patient would come in, I would say, mid 40s with loss of curvature, arthritis in the spine. List goes on. Now, that same patient, mid 20s all day long, because of technology use, and getting a patient to have better posture and actually try and work on their ergonomics so that it doesn't negatively affect them the way that I know it's going to. It's easy to say something, but actually providing them a product that will help them not only have better comfort, but really truly help them have better posture and ergonomics, that's different. So, did a lot of researching, a lot of education for myself, and learning what are going to be the traits that are required to create new habits. And make a long story short, we needed something that was going to look beautiful, something that was going to look and feel great. So, if I wanted to educate people about wearing shoes, for example, it needs to be so simple that they put it on, they wear it, and it provides benefit. So our mentality was, well, let's create something that, one, already people were familiar with. So our product looks like a regular travel pillow because people know. Then on top of it, we worked with great engineers and embedded the first exoskeleton that when that patient or person gently supplies the amount of pressure that they need to help put them in good posture and spinal support, it helps return the curvature with just using the product. And so we recommend daily use, just like you brush your teeth. Small stents will help relieve the main stress and strain that builds in the disc and on your spinal cord. That's for the upper back. We're working on a product right now for the lower back. And the mantra is, yes, we hope you use it all the time, as much as you can, but it's the first of many products to come so that it helps them have better posture, better overall ways of reducing aches and pains, because unfortunately, again, being the front row where we work, all we are witnessing is this slow demise of people's quality of life because of poor posture, poor what we call poor spinal hygiene. These spinal hygiene conditions lead to them seeking more medical care, and that medical care in this day and age is conducive. It's not like it's good for them. So I guess the way you can look at it is what we are creating is helping people prevent surgery.
Right. That is the default. Now, I wanted to ask you, you started practicing as a chiropractor around 2002. Around what year did you start noticing people getting younger and younger with the problems in their neck?
About the end of 09, 010, around there, I started seeing like those patterns really starting. Think about it. We've all had so much tech dumped in our laps. We didn't ask for it. It's just how the society, things like that have evolved. And the body is just not meant to sit all day. It's not meant to stand all day. And it's surely not meant to look down at our feet all day looking at technology.
Interesting.
Think about like a wire, for example. If you have something that just continues to bend, it weakens. And medical studies have proven that all of our tech use is weakening our spines. So most people combine that with what we call ADLs, activities of daily living. You combine those two, you're going to have a weaker area. Typically it's C5, C6, and L5, S1. And they're just now exponentially weakening those areas. And because it's such a slow process, because it doesn't come with pain, because it's not something that happens overnight, most people don't ignore it. They get used to incremental amounts of pain That's it. And it's like brushing your teeth. If you get a cavity, it may be there for years before you actually realize it.
Mm-hmm.
But the best way to prevent cavities is proactive care. And that's what we feel we're aiming to provide. And also, we're seeing that the way that your posture is what we call power. People's posture, for example, is one of the, I would assume, 50% to 60% of the way that people judge you when they first meet you is based off of your posture. And people don't realize that they're around your shoulders, they're hunching of the back. Just what we call a closed-in approach is really affecting them in more ways than not. So one of the things we're really going to start harping on more is how our products can help with their overall self-esteem. In yoga, they call it opening up the body, where they open up the shoulders, they arch the back. But that's easy for me to sit here and say, just go home and do that. But when it actually comes time to do it, one, no one wants to take time out of their day to create a new habit. But more than anything, it's just giving them a tool that lets it become very simple and easy to do, that they actually enjoy doing those things with. That's where we're getting ready to adhere all of those techniques on our website and so on and so forth.
And so, did you notice that once the cell phone became very, very prominent, I'm thinking that the cell phone is even more damaging because you are down like this. At least the computer, although not good, and because you're sitting, at least you can adjust your screen to, eye level. But the cell phone, we tend to do this. When the cell phone became very, very prominent, is that when you started noticing that acceleration?
It literally went in 2009, I believe the shuffle and the cell phones, things like that, the iPhones were released away from like the flip phone mentality.
Mm-hmm.
You started seeing that demise. And so nowadays, there's not a parent in the world that doesn't agree with me that they hate to see their child sitting in a car seat, sitting in their house, just hunched over like this. And so we've developed a strap system, for example, on our pillows that let children sit with the pillow on, the strap around, and it helps keep them in the upright position. So while they're at least they're providing the medical benefit at the same time. And we're literally next week about to launch our what we call economy line, where it's going to be a product that's under $100 and it comes with a lifetime warranty. And one of our biggest things is trying to keep things out of a landfill. There's only a few things in this life that you should buy once, and I think our products is one of them. So if you purchase one we have, we are going to stand behind it for life, just making sure that we can replace it, we can repair it, whatever it takes to make sure that you don't have to go through the process of buying another one. And then with advancements in the future, we will also provide those upgrades to you. If it's technology at a reduced price, if it's just in the product, those are free.
Okay. And so would you suggest, is your product a replacement for chiropractic care, or do you have to combine them? Or if you don't do chiropractic and at least have the product is better than nothing, how does that work?
That's a good question. So one of the things that we're going to recommend with our products is you have to do stretching, focus on breathing, focus on literally your ergonomics while at work, while in bed. Those are the things that we can really start to create a good recipe around. In that recipe, chiropractic adjustments, even if it's just once a month, is what we recommend, because there's nothing that can replace the relief and the relief of pressure that comes with that adjustment.
Yeah.
The product by itself, it's not enough to create the change in posture that is going to slowly happen, but it really helps. Really kickstart, and in conjunction with the other things that we're adding, that we're finding. So if anyone was aware of how yoga works, for example, a yoga teacher can say, I want you to provide yourself the opening up action where they literally lay on their back. They may have something rolled underneath their neck, and they're just opening up this area, laying flat and stretching and breathing at the same time. That's one example of a recipe that we add into what we provide. Basically, it's the exact opposite of what we do all day when we use technology.
Right.
We do the opposite, but relieve the pressure on the neck. Tech neck is.
And when are you officially launching your product line?
Well, we've done a few already. We've done our high-end, what we call Luxopedic line. We've actually done a line for medical professionals that sits and lives between patients and providers. But the product that I feel is going to make the biggest impact to society is our ergonomic and economic version. So that is next week, actually.
Oh, you're launching next week. Right now it is September 4th. So by the time this episode goes live, that means you would have already launched.
Yes.
Perfect. I will make sure to put a link to your website on this episode so that people can go find this out. I can't wait. I'm going to check it out myself because we do chiropractic care in this household. But I am one of those parents who, I wish I could just take the technology and make it disappear. You know,
we all do. Any parent nowadays, you just want to but you have to be a parent to understand it. And I feel like most of us lucky. I feel blessed to be in a time of society and time of life where we do have so much technology as a tool that can help enhance life. But like all technology, there needs to be a balance. There needs to be an education behind technology overload. And there also needs to be things that help regulate that and provide that balance. But right now, people don't know. They have no clue where to turn, where to look for those great products that can help reduce those symptoms. Because sadly, again, if you could be in my shoes, you would see that I would say right now, 25% of people are going to surgery, spinal surgery, and they never had to. And that number is only getting higher. Studies show that by 2030, 1 in every 5 of us will be a senior citizen. That number, in conjunction with the demise that's occurring, 25% each year of weakening of our spines, that's a recipe for disaster. People don't quite realize it. So we're trying to get in front of this right now to provide some relief. I hope that maybe as we scale, tech companies will want to support our mission. And our mission is basically providing a education behind some of the negative effects that occur with tech. Not a lot of them, but it's enough. If you eat junk food all the time, you can expect that you're going to get cavities, right?
Right.
With plaque on your teeth. We hope that we're going to provide some form of increased spinal hygiene education, and that's also a part of our mission.
Right, because now the spinal surgeries are going to be usually. Spinal surgeries were for people like 40s, 50s and over. I guess now they're going to be recommended to younger and younger people. And
people don't realize that once you have surgery you have to expect to have that same surgery about every 5 to 10 years there again for the rest of your life. And so, if you're in your mid 40s and you have a solid 50 years left and you're looking at potentially number of surgeries, each one significantly decreasing your quality of life, that's no quality of life. I mean, Walt Disney is a prime example of someone who passed away early because of complications due to lumbar surgery. So we are really laser focused on what we call, I think I'm going to say it out loud, our Jet Pack, or My Jet Pack. It's a pack that combines upper and lower support that people can use as needed that helps decrease the symptoms that associated with tech.
Right. And it's about being proactive about one's health instead of going to the doctor, letting them tell you what they're going to do and you not taking any action, not doing your own research, finding what other solutions you can implement that may avoid those drastic measures such as spine surgery. I've known people, actually have 2 friends people that I know that have had spinal surgery. One of them, I knew enough by then to tell her, don't do it. She followed my advice, went to the chiropractor, but I guess, the medical advice went out in her head and she went and did that. And now and now she regrets it. And the chiropractor had told her that that he could definitely help. It wouldn't be instantaneous. It's a process. But you know how many times we just want instant gratification because we need pain relief. And then she went for the quickest route and ended up in a bad situation. So that's sad to see, you know?
It is. I mean, chiropractic, like all things, it has its time and its place. And it is, when you're on that proactive approach, it is a recipe. There's not just one thing, unfortunately, that requires, and again, I always keep using the example of brushing your teeth, but it is, yes, flossing, brushing multiple times a day. And yeah, just making sure that if you eat junk food, that you follow those steps. If you are sitting for 8 hours a day behind a computer, okay, that's fine, but you need to make sure that you're taking those proper steps. And I look forward to seeing how society and the technology industry implements things in our products that helps people enhance. We're looking at maybe a form of AI embedded that helps monitor how much curvature you actually have today. And as it starts to evolve, decrease, our products can let you know that, hey, you're losing the curvature, because the curvature is what's really responsible for maintaining proper disc hydration and overall health.
Mm-hmm.
So use that curve. Studies show that it's conducive of pushing the disc material away or out of its normal state. When you have a good curvature, it's conducive of pulling the disc into its normal state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. And so now I want to know more about the process in developing this product. You and I spoke and you said, I want to know when you were inspired by the Holy Spirit to start this.
Yeah, that was literally, one of the greatest gifts I've ever been given. I feel maybe it's just because of my past education combined with being, a Holy Spirit believer and just loving the Lord. But combining that made me uniquely qualified in His heart and His mind, I believe, to give me this mission to comfort His people. And that's exactly what He told me. Just your knowledge, comfort. And that's a very broad, statement that can mean a lot of things. So we're trying to do that, though, in the most impactful way. So, for example, one of the things that we really want to do more in the future is for each product that we sell, providing maybe a lesser expensive version or something like that around every child who has to live in a hospital bed or lives in a wheelchair. Because when you go to the hospitals and you see children just sitting like this, one, it's not conducive for healing. Two, it can be comfortable, but it's an epidemic that blows my mind how we are still seeing a lot of kids in that position. So to get back to your question is, it was around 2011 when the Lord spoke to me and giving me that vision and giving me those words, and trying to then figure out what can we do that's not been done. And so we worked with a team of engineers out of Stanford that developed the first internal exoskeletal support that when you gently squeeze it or pull it apart, it adds or subtracts the amount of support, lateral support, that you need to help lift, traction, and support, and put your head back in at what's called a 23-degree curve, which is the conducive curve of normal lordotic cervical curvature. And so then there's a strap system that you just relax your arms and wrist in, and it gently does it all for you. It holds your neck in the perfect position for alignment with support, traction, and relieving the pressure that builds all day from daily tech. And then, like I said, when we can stand behind that product for life, it's a great investment that will give you a lifetime of quality, comfort that we're going to continue improving upon. And I hope that we can also use our patented product to enhance other industries. Maybe it's autonomous driven cars, maybe it's aviation, the list goes on. But we hope that that's what the Lord meant when He said, help and comfort my people.
And so would somebody use that product when they're like at home doing chores or sitting down on their computer, can they be moving when using the product, like the one with the straps, or do they have to be still?
That is a good question. And the answer is all of it. You can literally, we have a lot of people who will pillow on, because you can make the pillow hot or cold. They will maybe work some biofreeze or cryoderm on the muscles. They'll put some ice packs in on one portion, maybe heat packs on the other. They'll run the pillow around, adjust, run the strap behind them, clip it, and start typing away. It feels incredible. It's a natural way of relieving aches and pains, but more than anything, it helps keep the better posture. And it's that muscle memory that you start to enhance that allows people to really start to feel, for the first time in a long time for most people, what it's like to have a normal lordotic or normal curvature of the spine again. I call it, it's like putting helium in your head. It just gently raises you, but very comfortably. And so we recommend just 10 or 15 minute increments. It's, yes, great while just relaxing, watching TV or reading. We tell people it's awesome to fall asleep using it, but don't sleep in it overnight. We fidget too much. Our body needs blood circulation to just stay in one position.
Right.
But it does help people with sleep apnea, for example. It's something that I feel is just the onset of a new product line for many industries because of how much support it provides that's never been done before. I feel like it should have been done a long time ago, maybe when they invented the car seat. They just missed it, but it's okay.
Yeah. Well, and not everybody, just because they invent a car seat doesn't mean they're a chiropractor. The reason why God gave you that vision was because you could see it from that perspective that other people wouldn't have seen it from that perspective. And you also, and I don't know about other chiropractors, but I wonder if other chiropractors also notice the increase in problems around that time too. Now, I'm pretty sure maybe all of them, but nobody took action with that. So thank you for being obedient there. And this sounds like an excellent thing that everybody's going to have. We can talk about this all day because I am such a fan of alternative medicine, alternative methods of doing things. I always, as long as it's not like an emergency, I got run over by a bus or got shot, I always try, the path less traveled, because I have had great success with alternative medicine, and so that's why I love hearing about this, because it would be such a great addition for my kids, for myself, for my husband. I'm sitting here all day on my computer, and it is just, it is hard on the body. Of course, exercise helps. We do chiropractic, but anything that we can add is just going to be excellent. So the premise of this podcast, Dr. Majette, is we've always been told to not mix business and faith because it is bad for business, because we can lose business, because we can look crazy, or it just makes us look bad in a secular world. So my question to you is, what is your opinion about that? Do you think it's okay to mix faith and business? And if so, how do you do it?
It's one of the things that my wife and I discuss a lot. And the answer is, as a Christian and as a follower of the Lord, we feel very strong about spreading the word however we can. So one of the things that we do, for example, on our products, when you receive it, it's going to come with our tag and a cross, a beautiful metal cross hanging on the tag. It's subtle, and it's an understated way of letting you know that the Lord is blessing this product. We, as Christians, aren't just here to create an industry of income, but we're here to help. And that's going to be our message, that we're taking what the Lord's gifts have been for us, and we're just the stewards of that, and turn that around and provide relief in a way that wouldn't be even in our mindset, wouldn't even be on our plate if it wasn't for Him giving us the tools and the gifts to provide it. And I feel like that's what we are all here on this earth to do, and that is help others. I feel like if we aren't, we're not using our talents to the fullest. And letting people see that light in us, I feel those are the actions that speak much louder than words.
Absolutely.
That we as Christians need to do as much as we can to help others, provide relief and comfort, and let that spirit spread as much as possible. And am I the best at it? Not even close. Am I working on it?
We're all working on it. I think that your idea of that little cross is subtle, yet at the same time explicit, because when they get it, they're not going to be able to miss it. But who's going to be mad at that? You know, I mean, nobody's going to, and if they get mad at it, oh, well, they can always return it. But that's a nice thing, you know?
It is. And I've been made fun of by, people saying, well, isn't that what Mike from My Pillow does? Is the name. I'm like,
Like Lindell.
Yes. But at the end of the day, if that turns out to be something that someone maybe puts on a necklace, or just it speaks to them, we create songs all the time, and songs speak to us differently. It doesn't matter how it speaks to them. That's where that's where he comes in.
Right.
His mission and how it speaks to them really takes over.
Right. Because the whole idea is not to try to convert somebody. The whole idea is for you to show Christ's character in your actions, be kind to people, and hope that what you're doing or even what you're saying is planting a seed or softening that ground because the only one who can really shake somebody and make them convert is the Holy Spirit. That's how it happened to me. I was just looking at content online here and there, rejecting most of it because I thought it was bonkers. But somehow that kind of just planted a seed back there that it just stayed in the back of my mind and then softened the ground. And then lo and behold, the Holy Spirit did something. And we just have to be vehicles for the Holy Spirit to work through.
I love your story. I really do. And I'm impressed at the actions that you've taken to spread that. I mean, that's incredibly honorable. That is incredibly faith-driven. Most people, you're right, they hear it, that subtle voice, they ignore it. Mm-hmm. But there's those who just, when they know that that's the Lord speaking, there's nothing else you need to do but just give it 100% and know that it's going to be all right. I'm not going to lie. This has been a journey. This has been, us giving everything we've got into it. Mm-hmm. And the number of literally miracles that I've witnessed along the way, my wife and I have, we could write books on it. And it has just shaken me to the core, but let me 100% know we're going to be just fine and we're on the right track.
That this is the right track, because you did say that you tried this product on like 1,000 people before you even, with a prototype. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So my patients may have gotten annoyed by me, but, by running my own practice, I was blessed to have a captured audience, and each iteration that we came up with and let us evolve, the patient's feedback, the patient's proof was in the pudding on whether or not we were on the right track. And so, everybody has one of those love-hate relationships with the travel pillow. We've all unfortunately had horrible flight using them. Most of them, they get purchased on the whim at the airport thinking, oh, this would be a great idea. And it's literally worse than taking like 10 shots of tequila.
They're trash. You end up with a neck.
We are literally working on a recycling program right now for all those that exist. If they can mail us their old ones, we will literally provide a discount to our product just because we're trying to prevent what we call upcycling and figuring out a way to use those. But yes, there's a huge dilemma where people wanted those things to work, but the reason why they didn't, it was there wasn't enough lateral support. So that's what we've developed, a great way to provide easy, gentle lateral support, and provide that level of comfort they wish that the product had, but now does. We've also embedded air bladders inside that allow you to really extenuate the amount of curvature, combine that with the other options of bone conduction sound. We have a heater built in that allow you to adjust time and temperature, along with 3 different ways of cooling. All of these little bells and whistles all work together to provide what we call back-to-bed comfort. So for the first time, we're finding that, we've created an incredible travel pillow, first and foremost, but that's kind of on the side. It really is what we call luxury look and feel, a feeling of incredible in-bed comfort, but with medical benefits. Mm-hmm. That's where it's literally creating an entirely new industry of product, and then embedding tech inside will allow us to provide a good solution for all of those, for society who's suffering through the demise of our spinal health, to have a solution that helps combat that.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't leave. This is one travel pillow that you cannot leave on the plane. Because whoever gets it is going to hit the jackpot.
True. Our new economy lines will be around the $99 mark. But like I said, our mission isn't to create products and flip them. It's to create a product that you will literally use many times a day. We hope for the rest of your life. And the comfort is there. But like I said, if you have an issue with it, just reach out. There is no you have to have a time limit, or we only do 5 years. No, we will honor it. We will fix it. We will take care of it. If your dog eats it, we're going to replace it.
Oh, wow.
It's that type of support. The company, Patagonia, Bernard Fichard, I believe is how you say his name. It's a crazy French name as well. Mm-hmm. He wrote a book, Let My People Go Surfing, and talked in that book about how his company, Patagonia, evolved into becoming a sustainable, upcycled type of a business. And since we're still small, we can build that in now versus creating something great and then going back and trying to do that later. So we studied a lot of different businesses, and from the Japanese business model to you name it. And we found that his spoke to us the most, and that's what we're trying to do.
His business model. And so who is in the business? Is it you and a partner, you and your wife? Who is involved?
So that right now it is literally myself, CEO, and my wife is CMO. We have, because of technology, we're able to subcontract out the rest of the employees. And then we have 3 quality, incredible sewers that we are just so blessed to work with, because their talent is unlike anything we have ever found. But they're all here in the United States. We source everything here in the United States. Everything is handcrafted here in the United States. And that's why we're able to back our products the way.
So everything is made here in the USA.
Yes.
Wow. Even more of a reason to support this company. I love it.
We believe that, you're not going to get the type of quality that we need our products to offer without it. We're just not going to have the quality control.
You're not going to have the quality control if outsourced.
Correct. And maybe one day we do when it comes to like the technology aspect of it, but the key components that make up our orthopedic products will always be here in the United States. And sadly, that does increase the price a little bit, but we will always make it up on the back end when it comes to customer service and warranties.
Well, and you get what you pay for.
You do. There's nothing else to say about it. And we are so excited to see where the Lord is going to take us from here. To already see, for example, how much it's improved the dental industry, for example. We've created a topper. It's a 3-piece topper that sits on top of any existing dental chair. It lets the patient control their comfort for the first time throughout the procedure, which already changes the whole dynamics of a dental visit. And then on top of it, the provider uses the pillow as a tool to help control the patient's level of comfort, but it also helps them keep their neck and shoulders and head back. And it's used as what we call an articulating headrest. They use it as a wrist rest, and it lets them have much better ergonomics while the patient controls their comfort. That alone, for example, and then we have a portion for the lower back and their legs, helps prevent clotting. The list goes on. And those are the things that we're excited to see come to fruition. Our next product is our lower back product. It's what we call a back jack. It's a little teeny brace that sits right where your ribs end and your hips begin. And when you pull it tight, it just separates the top of you from the bottom of you.
What? That's in it. It's like it's like what you used to crank up a car when you're changing the tire.
It's small, inconspicuous. No one knows you have it on. And just for 10 or 15 minutes of use with that alone, in conjunction with, yes, the medicated creams, maybe a baby ice pack that we have a sleeve for, stretching, list goes on. It takes the pressure off your lower spine. And when you combine the two, that's what we call a jet pack for your back. I know it's dorky.
Wow, a jetpack. Well, I like that, actually. I like that a lot. So
Maybe
you will have...
hire a branding agency to help us, but now that's as good as you're going to get.
Yeah, that's what it's going to get. I like that you're going to have a suite of products that, I'm sure once people buy you the first product, they're going to want the next one and the next one, and then they'll be walking around like...
We don't let friends go out in public with this stuff on. Just while you're on a flight, or on a long car ride, or while you're watching a movie. That's where it's best. But yes, even while you're sitting at a desk, we're working right now on a type of a sweater that you can put on, and it does all those same things, but no one knows that you're working on your ergonomics and posture at the same time.
Oh, okay. So it's discreet.
Because that's what people need. That's what people want. They don't want to give other people reasons to make fun of them.
Yeah, especially if they're young.
Yes. And, the young generation are going to be the ones that benefit the most from this, because if they can prevent themselves from chasing medication, my God, that alone, if they can prevent themselves from going to surgery, if those things are accomplished alone, the Lord has worked his magic.
His magic. Because if you think about this, the ones who are 20 with problems now, by the time they're 30, they're going to need back surgery. Yep. That will shorten their lifespan, I'm thinking, because of all the complications that we don't even think about. Like, back surgery, what kind of complication? I don't know, but I know that there are complications that come with it. And so...
We can replace a hip, a heart, a knee. To this day, amazing. But we stink at back surgery still, because people don't realize that the spine and the brain are one. That's the central nerve.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
When you have back surgery, it is no different than someone performing brain surgery on you. And I can promise you, when you have someone perform brain surgery, you want them to do at least amount of work in there as possible. You want them to get in, get out, and keep it simple. That's exactly what you need if you have to do spinal surgery. So we're providing those tools that can help not only recover, but help keep you out of that as well.
Oh my goodness. I had never thought about that. I know about the gut-brain connection, but hadn't thought about spinal surgeries like brain surgery. It's directly connected to your brain. It
is. And so the peripheral nervous system starts once that nerve leaves your spinal cord. So the rest of it's the central, and it is something that you at all costs want to preserve, just like your teeth. We've come a long way, and we have a lot of advancements every day in medicine, and I'm so thankful for them. But the best proactive measure when it comes to spinal care is the proactive care, period. Nothing else to say.
Perfect. And so, Dr. Majette, how can people reach you? I know that are you active on LinkedIn right now? Do you have an email address? What's your website?
The website is myjetpillow at Gmail. myjetpillow.com is the website. Wow.
Uh-huh.
The email is info@myjetpillow.com. info@myjetpillow.com. And yes, reach out to me on LinkedIn if you have any questions, medical questions. One of the things that we provide with our products is a consultation with myself or another physicians that we work with to make sure that you are using it best for you and your needs, because everyone's different. So like if you purchased our product and it was for your child, we're going to talk about how you can use that best for you. And so because what we find is a 10 or 15 minute conversation in conjunction with our product. Doesn't matter what instructions we provide. It doesn't matter what videos we provide. That key, just combination of communication, it works better than anything else. And it lets them have a peace of mind. Mm-hmm. I got a great thing here. And at any time, reach out. Don't hesitate. We thrive off of helping others have the best quality of life and comfort.
Yeah, and the products will be available as of next week. Today is September 4th. So by the time this podcast is live, the products will be available at myjetpillow.com. And you can reach out to Dr. Michael Majette.
Everybody calls me Dr. Mike.
But on LinkedIn, you're under Dr. Michael Majette, and you can find him there. He's quite active there. So I'm excited to see these products. I can't wait to get some of this for myself because I travel frequently, and I travel a lot to California from Florida. That's a 4.5-hour flight. And I tell you, by the time we get there, my son is young, so he doesn't feel it as much as I do. I really feel it. And travel pillows are no help. I've tried every travel pillow and have not been able to come up with one that doesn't leave me feeling like I just got run over by a truck for 4 hours.
Everybody that tries this and uses it, especially on the flight, literally lays back and just says, finally, someone got it right. And we provide other little bells and whistles. Like we have a footrest that connects to the airline seat in front of you that takes all the pressure off your legs and lower back. Mm-hmm. So that, in conjunction with our head and neck support, really provides a level of comfort that also is saving so much money because you don't feel like you have to upgrade your seat.
Yeah, because air travel is terrible these days, and the only way you can get any kind of comfort is first class.
Yep, you don't need to do that anymore. So when you look at this small investment in the grand scheme of things, the lifetime of relief that's going to come with that, we recommend a good noise canceling headphone. We provide them if you don't have a good one. And then, again, the same things that you control in bed, your lighting. So we provide zero pressure eye shades, noise canceling headphones, good head and neck support for the neck and lower back, and a simple blanket. That's literally what creates a jetpack for your back, but it lets you literally have the most incredible comfort when you travel that's never been done before.
Oh, gosh, I wish that would have been available. I just took an international flight and boy, I mean, I was so jealous of the people in the suite, the Delta suite, the ones with the bed. I'm like, I probably need to do that next time because this is unbearable.
It should be almost illegal. Coach seating
it should be
over 4 hours should be legal.
It should be. It used to be much better back in the 70s and 80s, right? When we were coming up, even up till I think early 90s, it was okay. Yeah. Now it's
when flying used to be of luxury. It
used to be a luxury.
Here. Now it's literally
for cattle. It's for cattle. They treat you like cattle.
So I've flown to Hong Kong twice, and to use this personally. And to get off a flight with no jet lag,
wow!
Literally told me that this is exactly what we needed.
Because you were able to sleep the whole time?
The whole time. Wow. 8 hours. Our goal is to continue perfecting that so that people can start to get REM sleep in the seated position and clinically validate that.
How can you make something? Can you do something about snoring? Because one of the reasons why I don't want to fall asleep on the plane is because I snore. If you can make something to put on my mouth, that would be great.
That's incredible. I'll work on that one. I promise you.
The last thing I want to do is fall asleep on the plane and wake myself up from snoring. That would be so embarrassing. Oh my God.
When you use the product, when your arms are in the rest, it keeps your airway open. So it's going to help prevent snoring automatically. That's why it does work so well with people with sleep apnea now.
Okay.
So you may find that that's truly all that you really needed. It's when you're sleeping and your head starts to tilt in a way that it closes down your anyway. We'll talk about the science.
I need help.
We'll help with that.
I need help. And if you can do something like that, but for like my regular bed where I'm not snoring, that would be nobody wants to sleep next to me.
Game, hey, that's okay. We'll definitely help you. It all has to do with your positioning, and there's some great things that I'll mention to you when we're off the podcast that can help you there as well.
That's
for
perfect.
Anybody also, if you have medical questions and you're not quite sure if you're getting the right answer, I have nothing to gain But just to provide you with some solid advice, please let me have that opportunity. If I can do anything at all to help send you in a right direction, I'm happy to do that. Okay.
Perfect.
And that offer will extend to anyone for as long as possible. That's my job on earth, is to help others. I love doing it. And if we can help, even if it's not through our products, that's fine. Let's get you something that can help you. Okay?
Mm-hmm. That's what I say is the difference about when you work with sincere Christians in the business world. You know, they really mean what they say and say what they do. Not putting anybody down, but it's just a different place to be honest. And so I love it.
When someone says the word Christian, that should mean a definition of someone that just instantly you're going to take away a lot of negative from lying, feeling, the list goes on by just saying that one word. And I hope that our actions will portray that.
Yeah. And it's up to us to reestablish that reputation, because so many have, under the Christian banner and Christian name, have used it just for their own purposes and have given us a bad name. So we need to take that back. And
I hope our products continue helping people with their posture and helping people with just letting them feel more empowered, educating people about those, again, I call them negative tech effects. I mean, they're really not that negative if they're minimal, but if you don't pay attention to how much your shoulders are being rounded, if you're not noticing the curvature, and if you're definitely not doing anything about it, other people are noticing it and they're not going to say anything, I can promise you, but that's what we're going to continue providing more education about that as well. There's a lady, her name is Dr. Amy Cubby, I believe is her last name, Cubby. You can look her up on TED Talk. It's one of the most popular TED Talks of all time. And it talks about the negative impressions of posture. And it's been probably one of the best ways for someone to hear what I'm trying to describe in just a few moments and get a good grasp around how much posture is being affected by all of this.
It's especially for women.
Yeah.
You know, it's not to say that it's not, but it's so, especially for younger women, it is so important to have that posture. It speaks volumes.
It literally makes you more attractive.
It does.
It makes you much more confident. It makes you, so I think like they studies have even proven that confident, not cocky, but confident, charismatic, and still warm is the best recipe for a perfect posture.
Yes.
That's what, if I left this world tomorrow and if anybody remembered one thing, if that was it, then I would be thankful.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm going to get that stuff. You've sold me 4 times already. I'm getting it. I'm getting this stuff. I'm going to give one to my daughter, my son. Everybody's going to wear it. Well,
do me a favor, just make sure that you spread the word however you can, that it is like getting people to start brushing their teeth for the first time.
Using dental floss too.
Yeah. I think in the 1900s, when the Industrial Revolution started, that's when the mass production of sugar occurred. And we had to invent oral hygienists. Hygienists, right? Dentists were unable to keep up with just the cleaning of plaque. I feel like there will be a profession of spinal hygienist, something like that. Sure. I'm not sure what that is going to entail, but seeing how much corporations are already investing in those type of ergonomic products because they know, I think last year America spent close to $100 billion in spinal care, and combined with, it's also the largest reason why people miss work. So these numbers are only getting larger and corporations know it. So they are eager to invest in these type of products. So if you are working at a corporation and you have an HSA card, or you can ask, hey, do you guys help cover? Those are things that are real and can be beneficial right now.
To all of us, absolutely, especially with so many employees working remote, sitting on the computer. So that's a good idea. So I want to thank you, Dr. Majette. I love saying your last name. I think it's so pretty. I want to thank you for being here today and talking to my audience about these solutions that are out there that unless we run into them, we literally have no clue about them. Unless our chiropractor tells us about them, we're never going to find out about it. So I thank you so much for being here today and putting forth the vision that the Holy Spirit put into you to help his people, and even those who are, everybody, not just his people, but everybody. And so I want to say to my audience, please look up Dr. Majette at Majette Pillow. Do I have that correct?
That's right.
It sounds like my pillow. Okay, I get what they said, why they said Mike Lindo, Majette Pillow. So this is not my pillow. This is MajettePillow.com. He's going to be launching these products in the month of September. So check him out. And if you are a man who is a business leader and you're looking to build a spirit-led personal brand on LinkedIn to reach people who are in this broken world through your influence, please make sure to reach out to me at hello@francineSinclair.com, or you can check out my website at francineSinclair.com. And don't forget, get yourself a Majette pillow this month, and Christmas is coming soon. So take care. Bye, everybody. See you again next week with another episode. Bye-bye. If you're a Christian business leader or executive, I invite you to work with me to create a faith-driven personal brand on LinkedIn that will empower you to navigate the intersection between faith and business. Feel free to contact me directly at hello@francineSinclair.com. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening today. Make sure to subscribe to this podcast and don't forget to follow me, Francine Sinclair, on Facebook or LinkedIn. See you next week for a new episode.